So today we are going to be talking about um, what to do with a newborn baby. As you can see, I just had a newborn. She is, let's see, 8 days old at this point. So we are going to talk about kind of from a sleep consultant perspective, what to focus on 1 week in. So she is my third, so I'm definitely not new to this newborn rodeo. But every time you add another child in, things just get a little bit different. So I, this time, have been really conscious, even before she was born, about knowing exactly what I was going to focus on kind of each week. So I would be able to reap all of the benefits of amazing sleep as soon as she was developmentally ready. So today we're going to talk about the three big things that I've been focusing on in the last 8 days since we've come home. Um, I know with my oldest, I was terrified to come home from the hospital. I had so much support. It was like a little vacation with the nurses coming in to check on you and meals being delivered to your room. And it was so nice. And then we got home and it was like, oh, I did get up to get my meals. I have to do all these extra things. So this time, like knowing I was going to have three little ones that I needed to take care of, I really just wanted to have a plan in place so I knew exactly where my focus needed to be so I wouldn't feel so scattered all over the place. One of the good things about having multiple children already at home and on a great schedule is that she kind of fit right into that schedule. Like they already nap at a certain time, they already wake up at a certain time. So it was easier, I'm not going to say easy, to kind of fold her in because I knew already kind of these like timestamps that I had to follow. So the three biggest things that I've been working on is getting nice full feeds during the day while she's wide awake every 3 hours. Setting up a bedtime routine, which I'll talk through because a bedtime routine at a newborn age is very, very different from what you would do even with like a 4 to 6 month old. And then the last thing is uh, one nap that is not a contact nap. So as you can see right now, we are doing a contact nap, but at least one nap a day. I focus on doing that nice full feed, having that tiny little bit of an awake window left, and then getting her into, we do a pack and play because the bassinet is upstairs. We do a pack and play on our kind of main level to get her to fall asleep independently. Just so we're kind of working on the very foundation of those sleep skills. So the first one, I'll go back. The first thing that we'll talk about is the feeds during the day. So yes, she is very, very sleepy during the day still. We're just kind of starting to be able to get like a nice, very awake feeding. So no worries if your little one is still very tired during those feeds. But my biggest tip for that is to make sure that they are awake before you start that feed. I know if like she was kind of semi-awake, maybe she'd peeked an eye open and then I tried to feed her. It was really difficult to get that nice full feeding in. So now I have been focused on doing a feed every 3 hours, whether she is awake or not, because I want those longer stretches of sleep to come overnight. So what I have been doing is maybe 2.5 hours in, I'll start to notice, okay, she's going to need to be up soon, knowing that it takes a little bit to wake her. Again, it's getting easier 8 days in, but the first couple of days, it was really, really difficult to get her to wake up to eat. So I would do a diaper change. I would carry her around, talk to her, try to interact with her, take some of her clothes off, do skin to skin. So all of those were helpful into getting her more awake so that by the time it was time to eat, she was a little bit more awake and could be more alert to latch and to get a nice good feed in. So you really want to make sure that you are doing those feeds, those nice full feeds during the day, every 2.5 to 3 hours, just to make sure that if and when those longer stretches come, they're coming overnight so they can help you. Yes, newborns sleep like 18 hours a day, but we all know it doesn't always happen the times that we want it to. So just already I've seen a huge difference where she's now going maybe like 5 hours overnight. at 8 days. So it definitely has benefited me to do those nice full feeds, get as many in during the day as I can, so I can let her, now that she has gained back her birth weight, let her sleep overnight and let her wake when she wants to eat. The second big thing is a bedtime routine. So again, because I already have a bedtime routine with my older two, this one is a little bit easier, but her routine comes a lot later. So typically, I know based on the feeds in the afternoon, what time bedtime will be. So say that before bedtime, I also try to feed closer to every 2 hours to kind of stock up a little bit more so that she will be ready to do a longer stretch overnight. So typically our bedtimes have been around 9 o'clock. So right around 9 o'clock, right around 8:30, I'll wake her up, make sure that she, will move around. I'll kind of get myself ready for bed while I'm carrying her, so that interaction, that moving around, does a little bit more to rouse her, so that by the time we go upstairs to our room, everything's set out, and we're ready for a bedtime routine. So what I do is I will feed on one side, then I will get a nice good burp out. Then I will lay her down, change her diaper, and if I need to change into pajamas, depending on what she's wearing, then I will change into pajamas, then feed on the other side. And the reason that I do this is because I don't want that diaper change to, I don't want to come at the end of the feed and rouse her too much, where then she does have a harder time falling asleep. But I also know that I need that diaper change to happen. I don't want it to happen at the very beginning of the feed either, at this age, because I don't want her to be too upset before that feed comes, because then it could, you could have a fear of it waking other children, or that it's harder for them to calm down, relax after that, like those cold wipes and whatever it may be that wakes them. So I have found that feeding on one side, burp, diaper change and clothing change, then feeding on the other side before putting her in, has worked out really, really well for her. And I did that with all my children, and that's what I do for overnight feeds too, and it works pretty seamlessly. Once I feed on that other side, once I notice that she is slowing down, not sucking, as much, she's just kind of hanging out, then I will unlatch her, hold her up again to get a nice good burp, swaddle in the bassinet, and then just leave her. Usually it takes about 15 minutes for her to fall asleep, maybe 10, 15 minutes. But during that time, I'm really not doing that much to help her fall asleep. And this is something that I think like a little trap that newborn parents fall into, because as soon as your newborn makes a noise, you kind of jump up and over anticipate helping them. So I will just kind of sit up, peek up into the bassinet and see what's happening. If her eyes are still closed, if she's just kind of moving around, then I don't provide any assistance. And she does work it out, and she's able to fall asleep on her own. There is, for newborns, a cycle of sleep that is very active, but they are sleeping. So that's another thing to look out for, where if your child does wake up overnight and they are moving and grunting and making a lot of noise, you really want to kind of hang back and ensure that they are awake and that they are alert, because if they're not, you're going to wake them up, and then it's going to be a harder time to get them back down. So really just making sure, giving them that second, like pausing, doing that little bit of hesitation before you go in, will really help develop their independent sleep skills and ultimately lead to some better sleep for you, because you won't feel like every little noise you have to jump up and kind of over anticipate that they're going to cry or become upset. That probably happens. That happens right when I put her down initially for bed, and then after that nighttime feed, where it does take her a little bit. She's wiggling around. She might cry out. She makes some noise, but ultimately she's always able to get back to sleep on her own, because I'm not jumping in to kind of interfere with her working those things out. And the last thing is the contact nap. So lots of naps during the day, lots of sleep. So we do carrier naps. We haven't really gone anywhere. So we've done some car seat, no stroller naps yet, but those are perfectly fine. We do some contact naps as well, but with two other children, it's not as often, except for when they're both napping, that I can do a full contact nap because I just don't have the hands. So the first kind of nap of the day, typically 8 days in, she's been waking around 6, so I'll do the feed at 6. We'll kind of get our morning started, and then I'll get the boys up, come downstairs, and then put her down while I do their breakfast. So it actually works out really nicely. And then that's when I will do that first swaddled nap in the pack and play. So I know that it's been about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour since she woke up. I will swaddle her up, put her into the pack and play, and then turn the sound machine on and walk out of the room. Maybe she needs me to come in one more time to kind of give her a pat, give her a pacifier. But she does really well just getting herself to sleep. And then I have about 2 hours with the boys to get them their breakfast, get them, we do kind of our like daily calendar, set them up with an activity before she needs to wake up and be fed again. So the mornings are going pretty smoothly because I kind of have that expectation that one contact nap will happen. So again, just to recap, for the first week home with your newborn, the 3 biggest things to focus on are: 1, doing nice full feeds during the day, at least every 3 hours, waking them for those feeds. 2, starting a bedtime routine. For a newborn, it's going to be on the later side, between 8, 9 o'clock. That is okay, but just have a routine that you follow every single night to get that started, and it will creep earlier and earlier as they grow. And then the third thing is one no contact nap, one independent nap in a crib, bassinet, pack and play, something that is designed and tested for infant sleep, so that they can start to learn some independent sleep skills. So if you have any questions at all, I'm more than happy to answer them. You can pop them in the comments or shoot me an email. I love working with newborns. They're just some of my favorite age groups to work with. So if you have any questions or want to know more about my newborn package, I am also very happy to chat with you about that. And I will post the link to chat with me about my newborn program in the comments. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.